Hey, what is up ladies and gentlemen, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog here, and welcome back for some more of the Maxi Toys videos. And speaking of such, welcome back to more Let's Play of Sonic Forces for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and of course Nintendo Switch. So you remember yesterday's video is the fact that we did manage to tackle through those secret stages in addition to those extra stages here and there too. Which means there are a grand total of 13 levels that we did tackle from the last video. So yeah, that's actually pretty big, considering how the fact that those levels are superiorly short. So today, for this point, ladies and gentlemen, this is the extra video, in this case the final ever video of Sonic Forces Let's Play for our YouTube channel. Because of that though, if we hit into the avatar menu real quickly, now you probably noticed I've already got myself all 3 of those gold medals, as you can see here. That the avatar menus is that you can actually customize your own character and all that stuff. You can actually create your other avatar for either male or female, whatever you want to go for that, but it's entirely up to you. But even then though, you can also manage to get yourselves your avatar collection, which as you can see, the only maximum level you can get for the avatar, which is in forms of the 30 medals you can get. Which means that represents these 3 gold medals that I've usually got at the moment. So even then though, that's pretty cool stuff. You can also change your costumes, all that stuff, including your footwear, in addition to the response differences here and there too. So even then though, there's not much else to say about the avatars, honestly, besides these missions tasks. So just like how it does it in Sonic Lost World for the Wii U version most likely, that you can actually just manage to have a look and see what challenges you're able to actually go through, including a daily challenge here and there too, which does like a time limit syndrome. And even then though, that missions such as like completing the regular stage, or even just use those specific abilities for those levels you actually went through, including the response here and there too, and several other stuff, like basically like, you know, you got like any sort of mission challenges, like can be ranging from classic Sonic's portion, modern Sonic's portion, and even the avatar portion. So that's all it usually does from that little mission challenges and all that stuff. But if you manage to accomplish those mission challenges, then you would actually unlock, you know, some of your new custom avatar parts and all that stuff. So even then though, it might be pretty cool for that little department right there. So but again, I do apologize for the lack of dialogue for this point, ladies and gentlemen, because, you know, there's not much else to discuss upon until when we actually get into the actual extra stuff of how this game offers to be, and now it informs of. Now, I've already mentioned this before, that this game also has a DLC, but it informs of how the fact that you can able to actually get yourselves, you know, the Seiko-based avatar custom clothing and all that stuff. You get, or in this case, some you know, Seiko suits and all that stuff, which can be ranging from Super Monkey Ball, Jet Set Radio, Persona 5, I could have expected that, or even Knights, and even, I don't know what I think. So even then, I do apologize for that part. So what we're here for at this point in time is the forms of the extra playable characters that you can actually just manage to. You know, I mentioned this before about the DLC in this game, that you can also play as Shadow in this game. But not only you can actually play as him during the episode Shadow mode, but as I mentioned earlier, you can actually play as him in specifically the modern Sonic stages. No Avatar stages or classic Sonic stages or anything like that. So we just go ahead and jump straight to this in Lost Valley, for instance. And there's also this secondary collectible, which I'll show you in just a moment. But for now, we'll go ahead and just play as Shadow the Hedgehog. Seriously, it's been about almost 11 years ever since we actually last time playing as Shadow, but in forms of the mainstream Sonic title, which I believe is actually Sonic 06. So even then, that I won't count in those spin-off titles honestly, because it's nothing integrated into the actual premise of the actual mainstream Sonic titles as far as I'm aware. But even then, that again, as I mentioned earlier in the episode Shadow playthrough, is that he plays exactly like how he does in modern Sonic does. Like, he can still, you know, homing attack into things, and in addition to, you know, boosting and all that stuff, and also stomp as well. And even then though, the only ability he doesn't have, much like modern Sonic, is the forms of the wall jump ability, in addition to the, well, drifting as you expected, because I really do miss the drifting in this game. And as you can see with right there, we got ourselves our secondary collectibles, as you can see here. These are known as numbered rings. You remember these from Sonic Lost World, right? for specifically for the Wii U version, that if you collect all 5 of them during some segments worth mentioning, that way it can give you an extra life. And you have to do it in a backwards fashion order, by the way, because if you accidentally do the front right way round, it won't able to actually activate the reward after collecting 5 of those numbered rings. So even then, that in Sonic Lost World, that the reward you can only get is just extra life. But in this, if you manage to do the exact same way as you does it from Sonic Lost World, that way you should able to complete your challenge tasks. So even then though, there are a grand total of 3 collectibles in this game, which are, well, obviously the first one is pretty obvious because of the red star rings ever since Sonic Colors, Generations, Lost World, and especially noticeable with Sonic the Hedgehog for episode 2. And that could be same applies for Sonic Dash, Sonic Dash 2, Sonic Boom, and Sonic Forces Speed Battle, in addition to the original Sonic Runners from 2015, but of course their service on the original Sonic Runners is now shutting down. But even then, because of that though, we got ourselves a replacement as Sonic Runners Adventure instead of the original Sonic Runners. But we're not going to talk about more in depth into it. But even then, that's all we usually can get for this point, people. But now, we're going to head back into this level yet again, but this time there's actually a 3rd collectible this time, and that is the forms of, well, I'll get into them in a moment temporarily, but at the moment, we can actually get to play as Super Sonic in this game. Yes. If you manage to get yourselves a free DLC, because, well, unfortunately for this point in time, folks, is that you guys only have, like, I would say 2 days left until there's pretty much limited time only. Because at first glance is that Super Sonic DLC, not only for modern Sonic himself, but also classic Sonic as well. But even then, if you remember playing through Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations counterparts of Super Sonic, that I found is really cool in Super Sonic and Sonic Colors, well, despite the game was in 2D. But even then, it's about time to actually just finally play as Super Sonic in the actual main levels themselves, instead of just the actual exclusive fights. But even then though, you can also play as Super Sonic in the forms of Sonic Generations for both Classic Sonic and Modern Sonic, which I honestly feel is kind of underwhelming for me, because it feels like Classic Super Sonic is just invincibility Classic Sonic with no high speed or jump height, and then Modern Super Sonic can just simply boost to win with 10 rings per second when you're able to boost and all that stuff, which I felt was a little bit of a waste. And you can also play as Super Sonic in the forms of Sonic Lost World, but even then though, that despite the fact it has the most embarrassing moments, that it actually has 2 mouths, which I don't understand why. And also not to mention that, I think that's what I can think of at this point, ladies and gentlemen. But even then though, let's talk about the Super Sonic transformation in the forms of this game. It plays almost exactly, more accurately, a combination of Sonic Lost World and Sonic Generations at the same time. Well, luckily though, it doesn't have the special requirements all to get here. But even then, as I mentioned earlier, if you actually access to Nintendo eShop or the PlayStation Network or the Xbox Live Arcade, you can actually purchase or download the DLC of Super Sonic. So even then though, what I thought about them, it's still an alright addition to that. But even then though, that sure it's kind of awesome and all, but it might be really easy to actually get this time around though. But again, it's pretty much limited time for this point until 2 days time, because this might be a bit of an opportunity that you're actually going to be paying for Super Sonic DLC at this point in time. It doesn't cost that much. At this point, it's usually about £1.69 or something like that. But even then, I don't know exactly sure how much amount. But anyways, if you couldn't tell already from this little screen from a couple of seconds ago, I managed to grab myself the 3rd set of collectible stuff in this game. And taking notice from New Super Mario Bros. 2, that in New Super Mario Bros. 2 in World Star, that these one of those collectibles which are moon coins. This game does have moon coins, but unlike how it does it in moon coins from New Super Mario Bros. 2, that if you found one and grab one, you can simply just keep it forever. However though, in this game is that in order to grab yourselves the moon coin token in this game, is that you need to collect all 5 of those moon coins within a time limit. And if you do that at the right time, then mission objective will be completed for you. So even then though, that if you don't do it fast enough, then it'll actually time up, and then as a result, all these moon coins will go vanish, unless if you do have to retry the level, or simply just able to kill yourself. So even then though, but again, You can die as many times as you want to this time around though, those of you might have missed it. So, pretty cool stuff in general. So here's classic Supersonic right there. Much like how it does in Sonic Generations, that he feels pretty much invincibility with no high speed or jump heights, because that's all it really does. But even then, kind of underwhelming for Super Classic Sonic, honestly. But at least he's still there for the sake of, like, you know, just to be more specific than that. And as you can tell right there, that when you transform into supersonic transformations of not only classic Sonic but also modern Sonic as well, that you can actually hear the instrumental version of Fist Bump, which even then though, that as you can tell from this little background music for classic Supersonic, that usually plays out the classic rendition of Fist Bump instrumental, which even then though, kind of cool rendition to that. But even then, that doesn't stop there on the other hand, because you can also play the tag team stage as Supersonic actually. Well, the only character that doesn't have the Chaos Emerald transformation was obviously Avatar characters, because, you know, they are rookies after all. But even then though, we're not gonna call them rookies anymore, because, well, we pretty much beat the likes of Team Dr. Eggman we're talking about here. Well, of course, there are still robots laying around, but I'm sure enough there still will be robots on site. But even then, though, that's as far as memories goes. That's all I can try to say about this here. And even then, you know, as I mentioned earlier, that you can also play as the Supersonic in those tag team stages between modern Sonic and especially the Avatar, all in one go. But even then, though, what I found is kind of cool is that take up Arsenal Pyramid, for example. You know, there are a whole bunch of rings all over the place in this level. Well, this is where you can get a lot of rings in this stage, and as you can see, I managed to get myself my S rank as opposed to in the actual Let's Play of the game, that I managed to grab the A rank, because the thing is with Supersonic in this game is super overpowered sometimes, because if you use the boost right there, you can actually get yourselves some rings tracked into you, very much like how it does in the electric shield from Sonic Mania and especially Sonic Generations as a result for that too. But the only time you do need to actually realize is that the sometimes my Supersonic transformation deactivated whenever you come to those situations where we have to do the double boost formula, which even then though, that I still kind of wish it actually has like a you can actually keep your Supersonic transformation once you're on those sequences, but apparently that's what the Sega development team decided to actually not to let us do that. But even then, I found it was a little bit of a, well, mixed bag of any kind. But even then, that's all I can really tell. No, yeah, I've no idea why I'm just grabbing these numbered rings, because I already showed you guys for this collectibles, as you can see it here. And of course, if you actually wait for this particular sequences right there, not only that modern Sonic is actually waiting impatiently, but also the Avatar is super, well, impatient as well. So, yeah, it's actually pretty weird. And of course, if you want to able to perform shortcuts in this level, as you can see there, with the, you know, the burst, wisp right there, that you can actually skip almost the entire portion of the level, which even then it kind of feels a little bit more, well, more situational than the likes of how it does in Colors in Lost World. But even then though, that it still only has a requirement of any kind to able to actually just, you know, it's always like gets the feeling of how the fact that compared to Sonic Colors and Generations, well, in Planet Wisp and Sonic Generations, that's mandatory in order to actually use those wisps. But even then though, in Sonic Lost World, in this game, they are entirely optional for those of you who might have noticed something right off the get-go. But even then, yeah, that's all as far as I can think of. Or in this case, Sonic Lost World for the 3DS is pretty much mandatory in order to actually get for those sections noticed. But anyways, that concludes the Supersonic transformations for not only modern Supersonic, but also classic Supersonic. A little bit buffed out for Shadow, honestly, to actually not containing the super transformation in this game, which I understand because of how the fact that compared to Sonic Adventure 2 and Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic 06, actually has Shadow's super transformation. But even then, that's in the end of the day, it's pretty worth it though, if those of you might have missed it on something. So, that concludes our Let's Play of Sonic Forces for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and PC and Nintendo Switch. So I hope you guys do enjoy this Let's Play, mine itself included, in some parts, but I honestly think that Classic Sonic still is the worst aspect about the game for me though. So anyways, this is me, Sonic the Hedgehog, from the Maxi Toys, and until then, see you guys next time for a brand new Let's Play for our YouTube channel, or something else. So see you guys then, bye.